Ruben Amorim has given his first interview as the head coach of Manchester United, and in today's video we're going to be dissecting that interview, a couple of the comments he made about players, intensity, formation, working with the hierarchy, and then also some comments Fabrizio Romano's made on Ruben Amorim's recruitment plan and what this interview is really telling us. And then we'll have a catch up on some of the international break news and a few other stories going about. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and let's talk about Ruben Amorim's first interview as Manchester United manager, dissect that, talk about some of the news from Romano, our transfer plans, and more. So please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. I'm only 2 subscribers away from 97.3k, or 97,298 subscribers. So please do subscribe if you're new. But this was said by Ruben Amorim, and we're going to go through a couple, not all the interview, but a couple of key comments he made. So the first thing, which for me is the major difference between Ruben Amorim and all the managers we've had before, is working with the hierarchy. Ruben Amorim said this: "When Man United talked to me, Omar Barada told me about their plans to get excited. It's a real honour because I was the first choice to start that path. So it's great responsibility, but you feel honoured and excited to be part of that." So he was saying he was the first choice. He was super excited when Omar Barada appointed him. Of course, blah, blah, blah. We also know that he had something in his contract where Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, I think like one other club, meant that he could have a cheaper release clause, and because he'd already done work with Man United and his favourite league is the Premier League, he views it as the best league, this was seen as actually his dream opportunity, maybe even more so than City. Even though you got the stability at City, I think because of how big United is and the prestige, I think United has always been his dream club, which is always a great thing to have. He said a connection with people at the club. He said, yes, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford, but especially Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox. I felt a connection. We want to do something special with the club, which is good. And before I get into the main bits of the interview, and probably the more telling bits of the interview about his actual plans, the reason I feel a bit different, I think when Ten Hag came in, we're like, oh, this is finally going to be the manager that succeeds. I think we all got hyped up about Ten Hag, what he did at Ajax, the young players, the football he played at Ajax, and we're like, we're going to see good football, we're going to finally succeed, and it didn't work under Ten Hag. So I can feel like some people with this new manager coming in are like, oh, it's going to just be like Ten Hag, we get all excited, we hype this one out, and he fails. And maybe he does fail. He's going to need time, he's not a miracle worker, but this is the first time that he's not going to be working with Arnold and Murta that know nothing, or Woodward and Judge. He's going to be working with Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, people he already feels a connection to, people with footballing experts, people whose CV, I mean, Dan Ashworth, I think is the best appointment of the summer. I think that's a better appointment than any transfer in the summer because of his CV and the work he did, and Barada, what he did getting Man City up, and Jason Wilcox's academy relations, and he can always back up Wilcox. Yeah, maybe we need someone that's a bit more of a recruitment expert. We've got Christopher Vivel in there who does the lesser leagues. But I feel like there's finally the environment and structure around a head coach to succeed at United, which I think is the main reason no one succeeded before Amorim. Because I don't think the managers before Amorim were necessarily bad managers. Maybe they didn't have what it takes mentally to manage a club like Manchester United, but I don't think they were bad managers. And that's why I'm excited about Amorim. Amorim said on Old Trafford, he said, using Old Trafford, of course, if you're a coach and you don't use the most important thing, of course, the players are on the pitch, but the environment is very important because they play better if the environment is good. So, of course, we need the fans to win matches. He spoke out about his excitement to be at Old Trafford, but he also spoke out about his plans and his formation at United. And this is going to be the main difference. And I want to get into this. I want to get into the recruitment stuff. I might do a video later tonight, which is going to be 5 big changes Ruben Amorim will make at United. So not just setup, but how he connects with players, how he trains players, how he utilises the youth. I could do a video breaking it down into just 5 sections of how, using actual information of the past, using some interview quotes about how Amorim will change United and how he'll probably approach recruitment, who he wants to sign, because we've got some insight on who that could be. So do subscribe for that. I might do that tonight. But getting back into it, he said, a lot of people talk about the 3-4-3 and 4-3-3 and all of those things. He said, but when I think about the team, it's not a system or formation, it's the character of the players, the way they see the club. We have to focus on that before worrying about how to play and how we press. The most important thing for me is to create the principles, the identity and the character that we held in the past. So he's saying, I know everyone's talking about his formation, the 3-4-3, or should he go to the 4-3-3, which was what Ten Hag was trying to do. But he said it's not quite about the formation and the system, it's about the character of players to begin with and the way they see the club. And this relates to what Fabrizio Romano was saying about how Ruben Amorim's first demand was intensity. He wants intensity at Manchester United. He says he has to focus on, what the players can do, the character of them, can they play at the intensity he wants before he can think about formation. Now, it's very obvious he's probably going to go with a 3-4-3 because that's what he knows, and he's known to not alternate from that. But because of maybe lack of players, left wing back, centre back, he may adapt to a back four if he feels that he's only got a certain amount of players that can play and have the demands that he wants, and they can play a back four. But he's saying the most important thing for him is to create the principles, the identity, the character. And that relates to what Romana said about how Ruben Amorim demands intensity. He's going to assess the United players. We spoke about this. He's got a sports scientist. He's brought in a sports scientist to assess the players and their physical demands to see, can they give what he needs? Because it's not just about how good you are, it's about your mentality. It's about how much you can give for him if you're going to work under Amorim. He said on the setup, the team is the most important thing for me. If you work as a team, the individual talent will shine. You have to have an identity. Everyone thinks the same way. Run, play, have fun. That's what motivates me. Everyone wants to win and I want to win, but with identity, that's the thing I focus on all the time. That's what he said. The most important thing is his identity. He said it's about having everybody play a certain way, working as a team, but he's saying, identity, people giving everything. That's what he wants at United, and that's what we need to build, because I feel under Ten Hag we lost a bit of identity. We didn't play as a team. We were playing as 11 miserable individuals that almost, I wouldn't feel like they weren't trying, but it almost felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do, and maybe Ten Hag wasn't the best communicator. They seemed a bit lost. They seemed a bit unaware of what they wanted to do. So I 100% get that. He said about, people asked him, will he need time at United? It's so different. The intensity plays it's so different. This is what he said. He said, we know we need time, but we have to earn it. Winning matches means earning time. The most important thing for me is identity. From day one, we will start with our identity. Of course, we will prepare for the matches, but we will focus on our game model. How to play, how to press, those little things, those details. You can't focus 100% on every detail because the players wouldn't understand it. My first goal is identity. Again, talking about, does he need time? Does he need this? Does he need that? He's basically keeps going on about, his first goal is identity at the club. That's the first thing he wants to do. And I think winning matches will be really important under Ruben Amorim, but I think in his first season, he's kind of right. We're not going to be judging him off if he's winning matches. If he's winning loads of matches and he's winning it badly, yeah, we'll be happy we're winning, but we know we'll be playing badly and maybe it will catch up. It's more about what we see. Are we seeing improvement in football? Are we seeing an improvement in players? Are we seeing an identity? Are we seeing progress? I think for me under Ruben Amorim, it's not necessarily about results. It's about what he's trying to implement, and are we getting better each season? With a few signings, does he get better in his second season, which will be his first full season? Do we score more goals? That's what I want to see. It's all about improvement, and I think identity is a big part of that. Amorim says, I don't want to say that we need time because we have a young team. They are prepared. They are ready to face the demands of Manchester United. They have to be, since they are here. We know that it will take time and we will try gain time with winning matches. He said, but we have to start from the first day without fear, without thinking that they are not used to playing like this. I don't think about that. They will start from the first day with our idea. Whatever happens, that's objective. And he's basically saying he has his ideas, his way of playing, which is the 3-4-3, which demands a lot of intensity from the players. Yes, a lot of the players haven't played that way, but they're at Manchester United. They should be able to step up to the occasion. And I think that's very fair from Ruben Amorim. He said, history must inspire the team, sure. That's why we're Man United. We haven't won the Premier League for a long time, but Manchester United, the biggest club in England, so we have to fix that and win again. And that's exactly what he fixed at Sporting. They hadn't won the league in 19 years. 19 years they hadn't won the league. And he came in and he won them the league 13 months later. And that's what he wants to do at United. And that's what we want to see at United. He also said, when he was asked about a message to the fans, he said, it's a big responsibility. First of all, I'm very honoured to be here. It was my only choice because I really feel the greatness of this club. I will do everything for the team. I will defend my players if necessary all the time against everyone. It's important to me and I will try and do everything in my power to put the club in the place it belongs. And I firmly believe that it will succeed. And I absolutely love that from Amorim. And then Romano's given some details on Amorim's plans. He said Manchester United have not discussed the names of players to sign with Ruben Amorim yet. He wants access to the first team in training and matches. His opinion will be important in the recruitment, but that does not mean he will decide, is what was said by Romano. He said that United have not discussed names yet. He wants to assess all the players first, and he's not going to be super important in recruitment, but he will obviously have a say in that as well. So he's going to assess all the players, assess who can play at his intensity, who's the level of that he wants to play or not, I think. And then once he's assessed the players and he realises what areas he needs to improve, then he will go and speak to the recruitment team saying, I need a player that can do this, this and this, at this intensity, this and this, in this position, this and this. And then they will go out and get that. So it's quite interesting. Anyway, other details is that Bruno should be back to work with Amorim this week as he is got a yellow card, so he can't play in his next international match fixture. Majrari, Bruno and Delo all had good games on international duty. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.